You know, I heard you refer to them as animals,
Hmm.
not human. Is this something that you guys are taught to see them because it's easier to do your job? They're less than people.
Oh yeah.
Uh, really?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, like and it's very one-sided. You don't get the other side of who you're going to go fight. You don't, there's not like a school we go to that says, hey, these are, this is how they live their life. You have many courses of like their culture and stuff, phrases in Arabic and Pashto and stuff like that, but you don't have an in-depth course. We were told, 9/11 happened. They're responsible for it. They're affiliated with it. These are bad people. And you train to kill these people. They're not even people at that point. Like they were savages, savages, animals. I never saw them as a person till 2009. Before that, it was just like their life didn't matter if they died or not. It was just, and yeah, like they weren't real people. They didn't count. It's what it felt like. But
Mm-hmm.
that was
Mm-hmm.
the consensus around the entire uh, my platoon, and a lot of other war fighters that I've encountered. It was very one-sided, but you have to think that way. The minute you think that they have their people or have a family and something like that, you may hesitate for 0.012 seconds, and that's the determination between life and death, in many cases.
Do you ever feel betrayed by the very country that you were fighting for even implanting those thoughts into your head? And the only reason I ask, because the more you're talking, me as an African American male, yourself as an African American male, this is how the white man thought about us.
Yeah, yeah.
We were less than human.
What was it, a fifth of a man or
Lynching,
a third of a man?
correct.
Yeah.
So for them to take out a black man, uh, to sleep with a black woman, rape her, to basically kill and do what you want, use us as free labor. I gotta believe that this was the same teaching that they had.
Hmm.
And because of that, it was easy for them to go 400 years or hundreds of years of looking at us like, y'all just don't count. So, do you ever wake up, especially when you said, hey, I walked through Afghanistan in the daytime, which is crazy because us who have never been there, us who have never fought, we don't think about it in that way. That you guys were out there in the middle of the night, you're sniping, you're killing, you're taking out targets. And finally, you get to just walk the streets and see regular people doing regular people things. And all of a sudden, a light bulb goes on that, yo, damn, they're just as human as I am.
And it's a beautiful place over there too. I always told when I came back, I've said Afghanistan would be like a great tourist place if it wasn't so bad at the time. Like the mountain scenery. If you wanted to ski, you could ski. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Afghanistan is really beautiful. I
Okay, so the images that we see on TV, because all we see on TV are bombed buildings. Uh, it seems like all of the men over there are so aggressive and yelling, and it doesn't seem. I mean, I get it. I understand what propaganda is, and I know
hmm.
uh, American media has trained us to think a certain way
Oh
about
yeah.
them. But it really is a beautiful place.
Oh yeah. I mean the same thing. I got two stories. One, Africa. Remember, like 10 cents a day could save this African kid with a fly stuck to his face.
Yep, yep.
Everybody in Africa doesn't look like that. Everybody doesn't live in a hut in Africa either. You know, everybody's not mining for diamonds and gold either. Um, but it's a beautiful place, man. Like we're only shown one image of a country or a people, and that like shapes and molds the minds of the average day-to-day person who doesn't have the ability to travel to Africa, Afghanistan, Iraq, or those places. Like there's a big club in Iraq when I was contracting that was a really nice club that you would not be able to tell like is this American club or in Los Angeles or Vegas or in Baghdad. There's some nice clubs, and in 2007 in Mosul, during a pretty good firefight, we had a lady um, open up her doors to us, and she served us like chai tea, made sure we had a place to stay and stuff like that. The people are nice in general. Um, they're nice people. I just met them.
Were you guys wearing uniforms at the time?
Yeah, we were rolling around in strikers and uniforms. Like we were shooting right past her house at some guys up on a hill.
And she
And
opened her doors to you.
yeah, served us up. Oh yeah. And we had
Wow.
each squad member go in there and get chai tea, sit down on her couch and chill out for a little bit. It was like yeah, that was 2007 Mosul, Iraq. And then 2009 Afghanistan when I met the female up on top of a rooftop, and she helped me put things into perspective. And to get into her village, we had to walk over an outdoor. I thought we were stepping in soft, like mud. And they were decomposed bodies that they had buried too shallow on their outer perimeter of where they lived at. And we were walking through this. It smelled so bad. I thought it was like feces or something, but it was decomposed bodies that we were stepping in. They had buried outside of their home. So yeah, we didn't do that. The Taliban had did that to their wherever they were at, their little village or community or whatnot. But all in all, Afghanistan's a beautiful place. I'll never forget flying in a Chinook helicopter, looking out the back of the ramp and flying over mountains. And it's a beautiful, like you can't comprehend. It makes you feel so small and like yeah, it makes you feel like an ant and how insignificant you really are when you fly over these mountains of Afghanistan, and how this place could be so beautiful but have so much bloodshed in it. Well, a lot of it had to do with us. And don't get me started about how people in a cave planned all these extravagant terrorist attacks. I never met a genius Afghan in my life. They're generally very humble people. They mean no harm. They're just like farmers and stuff like that, trying to make a living. Then you have a different group of people, the Taliban, which we still fund to this day. And that news came out like $40 million a week. The U.S. taxpayer funds the Taliban. The same people we were fighting, and now they're like in control, and we fund their government, the Taliban, $40 million per week. The U.S. does. So how bad can they really be? Was a picture painted for us to believe that they were these savage people? I mean, the average American would be a savage if somebody came and invaded our country. We'd all be savages, So I don't think the average person in Afghanistan or in Iraq or the Middle East for that matter is a savage. No, they live different, but who's to say we live right? Just because we have more technology, because we're more spoiled, that doesn't mean you're doing it right.
Damn, bro, you just said so much.